Hello everyone. The purpose of this video is to alert the potential buyers of 2003 Infiniti G35 Sedan of the major repairs and problems that goes along with the purchasing this car. So let's start with the interior. So approximately a month ago, I encountered this problem. I turned on my AC and my stereo as usual, and suddenly, intermittently, the AC would turn on and off, and also my FM stereo would also turn on and off. The display of the radio station would uh, would not appear, and it would appear sometimes, and it would not appear. So, and then if when I tried to control it with the control buttons on my steering wheel, uh, it didn't. It sometimes worked, sometimes it didn't work. So it intermittently malfunctioned, and that affected the rest of the stereo system, the AM, the CD disc player, and also the tape player. Although the tape player is pretty much obsolete, I don't use that anymore. So after researching all these problems, I found out that the climate control buttons uh, is also uh, the climate control buttons along with the stereo system. They all work off the one circuit board behind the console. So after I've those were my suspicions, and after I confirmed that, I went ahead and disassembled this entire console uh, in order to get the main stereo system and circuit boards behind this console. And there's a video on YouTube. You can use the High Tech Electronic Services video that tells you exactly how to disassemble the stereo system from the console. It's fairly easy. I followed it, and I didn't have a hard time doing the work itself. And there's an additional video also for reference, so you can compare the two, so you can get more information how to do it. So after I disassembled it and took the stereo system out, I sent it off and shipped it to High Tech Electronic Services, and they confirmed the problems that the over the years there's just typical wear and tear on the stereo system, and it finally uh, it crashed basically. So they went ahead and fixed the climate control buttons, the circuit system, and also with the stereo system, the FM, the AM, and the tape player. And I didn't ask him to fix the CD disc player because it was an additional $200, and I had already it took me, and the price that they asked for was close to $300, and that's including shipping, the shipping costs, shipping it there and back. And I thought about the other option is simply just buying a new stereo for the same price. But the disadvantage of that is when you buy a new stereo, you also have to get the new console because they won't fit with this factory console itself, and that's additional cost. So there's the aftermarket Metra, and also there's the JDM model that you can use, which is closer to the original OEM design of the stereo system and climate control buttons. And one disadvantage of the JDM, it just didn't have this dual control button. So that's what you have to customize into that new console. So with all that extra work, additional costs, I just opted to stay with the original design because the JDM and the aftermarket Metra model didn't match the color that I had for my car. And the buns, the aftermarket Metra, was spongy. It's not the same as the OEM buns design here. And the JDM model did match, was a closer match to the design, and then again, but it didn't have that dual control button here. So you would have to uh, either do some customization in order to make that work on the JDM model. And And for the CD disc player, with today's technology, we have the Bluetooth adapter, and as you can tell from my on the left here, this is what I purchased off eBay. It costs about $12, and you just connect it to the cigarette lighter, and I was able that helped a lot because you can play your music off your smartphones through the Bluetooth system, and it's fairly great. It works. So so that's what I chose instead of getting the CD player fixed for such a high amount. And for this old car, I didn't feel like that was necessary. Okay. And one additional advantage also of the Bluetooth adapter system, you can call your friends and your anyone on the phone hands free. So you get two options with the Bluetooth adapter. You can play your data music off your smartphone, and you can also call your anyone on the hands free using the Bluetooth adapter system. On the car seat heater buttons, on the passenger side, when you turn it on, you'll see this light turn on to indicate that you just turned it on. But on the driver's side, the driver's seat, it actually doesn't turn on. So there's some loose connection or the light bulb has burned out. For now, I'm not going to replace it because it's not necessary for me. As long, but as long as the button does work, it just doesn't have the light that turns on. So I'm just going to leave it as is for now. Then on the door panels, over the years, the glue started to loosen up and become ineffective. So this mesh perforated panel here, the material here started to peel off. So I also had that repaired and re-glued again. And that also happened. This is the left driver's door, and it also happened on the right front door as well, and also the rear right door. And on the driver's seat, right now it has a rip on uh, the leather seat, and as you can tell, there's some cracking of the leather, and that's just wear and tear over the years, and some as you can tell, a little blue blue taint on the rear seat as well. So for now, with all the costs, this is a 2003 car. I just opted not to repair it, just kind of keep it clean and maintain it, and hopefully the rip will not spread. And I'm planning to do some alternative solutions for this, because the cost to actually to do a full repair is very high. And about 6 years ago, I had received a letter from Infiniti that there was a recall on the side airbag. So I went ahead and got that repaired by the Infiniti dealership. On the engine, one day I was having a problem with my car. I was driving it, and suddenly I started losing power. So I stopped over and inspected my engine, and I noticed there was a coolant leak. And to rectify the problem, I went ahead and called the tower and towed my car to Nissan to confirm the diagnosis. And they did confirm it, but it was more severe. There was an actual crack on my radiator. So they went ahead and replaced the radiator with an aftermarket radiator, and thus far it's working well. So the original radiator lasted for about 11, uh, 11 years, and that was changed about 2 years ago, and that occurred around about 98,000 miles, so you need to look out for that as well. Then on another day, I was driving. Again, I lost power to my car. so I couldn't go over 5 miles an hour, and I was really worried. So the nearest Infiniti or Nissan dealership was an actual Infiniti, so I went ahead and called the tower and had my car towed to the Infiniti dealership to confirm or to find out what was going on with my car. And what they found out was the throttle body chamber had malfunctioned, or there was some kind of problem with it. So they went ahead and replaced the throttle body chamber, and also reset the P codes. And so that throttle body chamber actually broke down about 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago. So it only lasted for 8 years, up to 72,000 miles. So ever since that time, I've had no problems with the car regarding the acceleration and the power. Then on another day, I was trying to start the car, and it was cranking, and I didn't think it was the battery that was the main problem, because a month before that I actually had my battery check at Nissan, and they said it was fine. So when I was cranking my car, starting my car, and it was cranking, I didn't think it was a battery. So when I had towed it back to Nissan for diagnostics again, they confirmed that the battery was the problem. And that battery actually only lasted for 1 year, so it must, they said, and I said, that it must have had a defect. And we replaced it with a 7-year battery, and thus far I've used this new battery for 3 years, and I haven't had any problems with starting the car. So, but overall, the battery I've had to replace 3 times during the time that I owned this car for the last 11 years. And the spark plug was due to be changed at 105,000 miles, so my car was getting close to, I already had 111,500 miles, so that's when I decided to change the spark plugs. So as of now, it has 6 new spark plugs. And during the change, I noticed there's some slight oil leak in the valve cover gasket area, and also the spark plug threads. So after re-inspecting the spark plug threads about a week or 2 weeks later, it wasn't a major problem. And again, there's some expectation that you will have some slight oil residue on your spark plug threads. So for now, I'm going to monitor it somewhere around twice a year or quarterly or something like that regarding the spark plugs, making sure there's no oil leak in the spark plug oil well. Although I've already mentioned that this is a 2003 model, it actually was manufactured in June of 2002, and the first owner actually leased this car around August of 2002. So it's actually 14 years old, a little over 14 years old now, even though it's called a 2003 model. Alright, hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let me know. And click the like icon there if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe also if you like. Thank you. Welcome any comments.